Hello guys and welcome to a new episode of Manish channel. First of all, I'm using the Sony A7C to film this episode. However, this review is on the Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark II, which I've been using now for a long time, and I've used it to make videos as well as take photos. So what do I like about this camera? Much better autofocus. There's a lot of improvement here. The image quality is outstanding, the video quality is unbelievable. However, it's not there yet. Panasonic needs to go back and improve on it. I'm not saying that Panasonic did a bad job, no, they did an excellent job. But it's not there yet, it's not 100% there. Some videos I've taken with this camera, they lose focus. The camera is in front of my face, there is plenty of light, I'm holding it like that, like your vlog, and boom, focus gone. And now I'm using the S5 Mark II for this vlog. And if you're thinking about vlogging using the Panasonic S5 Mark II, this is how it's gonna look like. And I highly recommend you don't buy the 35mm lens. It's either focusing on a tree behind me, or a bush, or a flower. And I'm thinking, why? It's in front of you. I'm here, my face is here. I'm not even wearing a hat or a cap or glasses. There is nothing. I'm just talking to the camera. But it loses focus. I don't know why. So S5, Panasonic, you need to sort this out. It's a big problem for me. I am returning this camera, unfortunately, because the autofocus is not there yet. You're doing an excellent job, so continue on that road. But please sort it out. I'll show you some examples. I mean, you can see now some videos that I've taken this camera and some other things, but it's not there yet. Unfortunately, it's unreliable. I know people will tell you that it's good and all that, but no, I'm telling you, my point of view is not a reliable autofocus system. Still not there yet. It will not even compete with a 4-year-old Sony A7C. No point of comparison. Sony A7C that I'm using now, 100% on the dot. Focus is accurate. You will never lose focus on me. This one would lose it 50% of the time. 60% of the time I will lose focus with the Panasonic S5 Mark II. Now another thing which I didn't like about this camera, the Lumix S5 Mark II, is the fact that I cannot get Panasonic lenses that I want. I want Panasonic lenses and I have to deal with Sigma. Why am I buying Sigma lenses? This camera says Lumix on it, says Panasonic. I don't want to buy a Sigma lens and stick it on there. Why? Why is that? Because they've given me the f1.8s. I don't know what the deal was with Sigma and Leica. I think maybe Panasonic pulled the short straw and they said, okay, all your lenses are going to have to be f1.8s or higher, and we, Sigma, are going to do the f1.4s and f1.2s. I don't want to put a Sigma lens on my Panasonic camera. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's nice, even though it is an L-mount Alliance, but I hate it. I don't want to put a Sigma. I hate Sigma. I don't like Sigma. Sigma, you are a leech. Another point which I didn't like about this is the battery. Battery on this is atrocious. Honestly, I can't even do more than an hour with this camera without the battery started blinking and then shutting off. I've charged it and it charges so slowly. It's just painful. I need at least 2 or 3 batteries extra spare in my bag if I'm going for a day out shooting. It's just like, the battery is down again. I've just charged it. Obviously they have given you the option of charging it via USB-C, but why am I always charging this battery? So frustrating, so annoying. Look, I haven't even opened it yet. I haven't even turned it on, and already the battery is starting to flash. The battery is already dying. Can you see that? It's over here. It's already starting. I've just charged you. I haven't even used this thing. Battery is awful on this camera. What battery is that? It's a bad battery, I can tell you. And I have bought 2 batteries. I have bought a spare one. And even charging these 2 spare batteries doesn't even last a day. The 4K video of this is unbelievable. You see things in your face. So if you are vlogging, you see things that you didn't even know existed in your face because of how detailed this camera is. So yes, go and buy this camera. You will be surprised how good this is. However, it does have some negatives. Now let's talk about them. First of all, when they tell you that the grip is excellent and there is much improved grips, it's not really improved. It's just any other grip. Look at that. My finger, my pinky is flying out here. There's nothing really to support it, and the positioning of the buttons is a little bit off. Now, if you are a Panasonic Lumix user, you will know that in order, for example, to adjust the auto balance or ISO, you have to press it and then rotate the wheel. I find this to be a repetitive strain injury waiting to happen. This is carpal tunnel right there. It's not comfortable because this thumb should always rest at the back of the camera. It should never leave and go up here or go down there. It should always rest here. So sometimes when they put the buttons here, I find that to be very tricky for me. Now there's another negative which I find, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but all of the flaps and buttons, they seem like an afterthought on this camera. I don't know why. There is no symmetry at all. There is no symmetry whatsoever. Look at this flap, for example. I'll try to put it in front of my face. It doesn't look like it's been designed with this camera in mind. It was just placed at the end. Nothing seems to be in a symmetrical order. Even here, when you're trying to look at the HDMI and the USB, they're not even on top of each other. One of them is towards the left, the other one is towards the right. They're not in the center. Everything has been slapped in there. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem like the buttons were taken into account. I mean, look at this record button. It's not in the center, it's not in the front, it's not the back. It's just in one side. It's just placed somewhere there. So annoying for someone who's got OCD. Look at this LED there. There's an LED next to the record button. It's not on top of it, it's not next to it, it's just placed somewhere. I think this is how the engineers of this camera place the buttons. They said, where should we put the ISO button? They said, just there somewhere. They said, what about the SD card? Yeah, a little bit to the left. Yeah, that's about okay. I don't know why. There's no symmetry. I'm a man who likes symmetry. OCD. Look at this flap. It's not square. It's not triangle. What is it? No one knows. I don't think even the markings on it, the manufacturer marking. There's a line. There is a cross. There is a square. This is a functional camera, but it's not a beautiful camera. This is one of the things when I shoot videos or take photos, I like to love what I'm shooting with. It's the experience. This is like having a tool, just a tool. It was not designed to be pretty. It was designed to do a certain job. I like my tools to look nice as well. So unfortunately, I don't love this camera. I like it, but just can't love it because it's not designed to be loved. The second or the third thing which I really hate about this camera, and I never use the word hate, but I hate the battery on this. It is so quick to run out. You charge it for, I don't know, 3 hours, and then you try to film. Half an hour later, the battery is flashing, wants to turn off. Why are you turning off? I've just charged you. I had to buy a separate battery, so now I've got 2 batteries, and even then, fully charged 2 batteries, S5 Mark II, they can't last half a day. How many batteries do you have to carry around? I need to have 10 at least. If you want honestly, if you want to shoot the full day with this Panasonic, you have to have at least 10 batteries. It's so annoying. My Sony A7C that I'm using to film this episode now, 1 battery can last you probably half a day easy. 5 hours continuous. I love it. It's very nice. Maybe that's why I can't. It's set the bar so high up that now when I move to this, I just feel like, what type of battery is that? And how can I make it better? If Panasonic had the option of buying a cheaper battery that doesn't last as long, and then there is the high quality one that is a bit more expensive, then okay, I don't mind. I can say, well, I did buy the cheaper one. No, but there's no other option. You're stuck with this battery. You're stuck with this half an hour battery that doesn't last. And if it's a hot day, I don't know how long this thing will last. Anyway, this is one of the things I hate about this camera. Unfortunately, I could not, whatever I did, I could not preserve the battery. And the screen does dim. For those who have the Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark II, the screen does dim and brighten and dim and brightens, which is obviously a probably battery saving feature, but even then it doesn't help at all. Now, what else can I tell you about this camera which I don't like, the Lumix S5 Mark II, is that you cannot blur the background. I've tried my best to blur the background, and I bought the 35mm f1.8, and I'm just unable to blur anything. I want to get some bokeh. I've got my module sitting there, my subject. I take it, I put f1.8 aperture value, the widest I can have the lens at, wide open. It's a fast lens, it's a 35mm f1.8, and I cannot blur the background. I don't know what's happening. There's something wrong, obviously. I think Panasonic needs to address this issue. When I'm filming with the Sony A7C, and I'm using even an f2.8, I can blur the background easily. I can get a very nice rendering of the background. There's a bit of bokeh, blurred background, image separation. It looks very beautiful. This camera, I'm unable to do that. Video or photos. And to be honest, bokeh is not everything, obviously. Blurring background is a bit cliche. You don't have to always have a blurred background. But if you do want to, you're unable to do that with a Panasonic. It's very strange. I wish Panasonic would leave me a comment down below and tell me what I'm doing wrong, or if someone knows. But I'm unable to get anything that resembles everything is sharp focus. The whole thing is like I'm filming in f22 or something. Very strange stuff. So these are one of the nags that I found this camera. And for me, this is very important to have a bit of blurred background because I use it a lot. And when I took a picture with the Sony A7C, and then I took a picture with the Panasonic, you can tell that the Panasonic is better. The image quality is better. The contrast is just more contrasty. The colors are more beautiful. The whole thing is better. But because there's no image separation, it does look like it's just been taken using a phone or a mobile, because that's what the mobile looks like. The whole thing looks like it's in focus. So when you compare the two, even though the Sony hasn't got as good colors or as good contrast, people will always choose the Sony. They will say, oh, that's much better. Why is that? It's because they can see a bit of bokeh, a bit of blur. It looks more professional. Unfortunately, you cannot achieve that with this Panasonic Lumix S5 Mark II. So this is something to consider if you want to buy this camera. Again, it's an excellent camera, 100% excellent. Go buy it. Forget about this video. Give me a thumbs down and go buy this camera. However, I hope I have helped you to make up your mind and know what are you getting. And to be honest, maybe this could be resolved when the Panasonic releases the 105F. I think it's going to be an f1.8. Maybe that would be a better option for portraits. But if you do want to buy a camera that will blur your background and have a bit of bokeh, image separation, then do not buy this camera, unfortunately. So these are some of the things which I didn't like. And other than that, it's an excellent camera. I hope you liked this video, guys, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below, and I'll try to read it. And I hope to see you in the next episode, yo. I'll see you. Peace.